Alright guys, so today I'm going to be testing out the Graco QuickShot. I figured what better way to do it than try it on an interior. So what I did here is I spot primed a bunch of spots where the homeowner's kid had drawn all over the wall. The best thing to use for that is Kills Original. That comes in a spray can, or you could use Zenzer, or you could use Sherwin-Williams has one too, but just use some kind of oil-based primer for that. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the gun set up, strain the paint, and get started. All right, so what I would suggest, just on any painting job site in general, is always keep you like a bucket of water. And then of course you're gonna need like just a trash bucket, an empty bucket for the gun. And then I'll be using Super Hide by Benjamin Moore. It's flat. This is my go-to interior paint anytime someone wants flat. The color I'm going to be using is called Costa Rica Blue, and I'll put that in the description. But I'm going to go ahead and get this strained. It was just mixed, so it should be mixed pretty well, but it's always good to just give it a little shake beforehand. And then they make the strainers that are like a cup, but I would suggest getting these that are actually like a mesh, just because they're better. It's all personal preference though, but before you ask, oh, where's your 5-in-1? When I open this paint lid, you guys gotta check this out. So, my rep at Spectrum Paint actually gave me this thing by Liquid Nails. It's a bottle opener. You can pull nails with it and open the paint lid, so pretty cool. So, this thing, I do have bigger batteries, DeWalt 20-volt batteries, but since it came with the 2 amp hour batteries, that's what I'm going to be testing it out with. And then it came with 2 tips. It came with a 514 FFLP, but I switched it out to the other tip that it came with. It's a 210 FFLP, just because this is interior and I want as little overspray as possible. As you can see, I didn't bother covering the floor. The carpet in here is just gross. They're gonna replace the carpet with flooring, I guess LVP, but I still don't want to get any paint on the carpet, or as minimal paint on the carpet as possible. So, all right. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but basically what I'm doing is I'm gonna take the lid off of this, pour the paint through here and strain it. And I also just have the regular mesh filter that came with it. There are 2, I showed in my previous video yesterday, but I'll just be using the regular filter, not the fine mesh. This is that Costa Rica Blue. I actually really like this color. I think this would be a cool color to paint like a bathroom or a kitchen. Let's see. Oh yeah, I got a rag right here. Dip it in some water. For all you DIYers, it's always a good idea to keep a wet rag anytime you're painting. Doesn't matter if you're spraying or brushing or rolling, just keep one handy. Alright, so right now I am putting the strainer into the 32-ounce cup that comes with the gun and straining the paint. A lot of guys these days don't strain their paint, but I'm telling you, it's a good idea. I can't tell you how many times, it doesn't matter. Sherwin-Williams, Benjamin Moore, their paint definitely needs to be strained. I've had straight chunks in my paint before, and nobody likes that. So after you've strained it, you just take the strainer, let it sit in your bucket of water, and it is reusable, at least for a couple of times. You can get a couple good uses out of it. Also, another good reason to keep a wet rag is to clean the rim of the paint can. So that way, when you put the lid back on, you still have a nice seal. It's not all gunky if you have leftover paint. I don't know if any of you guys have ever experienced that, but it's a fucking pain in the ass. If you haven't watched the video yesterday of when I unboxed this thing, I did tell you guys to make sure you do not get the gun itself wet. Because the gun is electric. So definitely don't do that. Also, DIYers, this is called a spray shield. Okay. What this is going to be used for, so it has a handle. I usually just take this shit off because it's more of a pain in the ass. Matter of fact, I'll just take that off right now. What this is going to be used for is when you're doing your sealing and you're spraying, you'll just shove that right up in the corner where the wall meets the ceiling. Get a nice crisp line, no overspray. So I highly suggest investing in one of those. They're like 20 bucks. Shit, you can get cheap ones made of cardboard for like 59 cents at Sherwin-Williams. So anyway, got the paint in the gun. Now, I finally figured out the belt. I read over the manual and everything yesterday, so I think I figured out the belt at least. I think I'm going to actually try to wear this thing with the belt. So, just goes on like that. I'm already wearing a belt at the moment, so I'm just going to try to do it above my pant line. Go ahead and put the gun on safety. and it has this right here. So you feed this through here. It's kind of hard to fuck with this belt thing. Okay, so if I read this correctly, should just feed through right here. So it should just feed through like this on the side. Something like that. And then it flips up. This belt feels very cheap, I will say. Not really liking the feel of that belt. And it's making the gun want to lean forward. Let's see. Needs to be a hell of a lot tighter. Still kind of makes it want to sit forward, but oh well. And just clips in like that. Okay. I do not like the feel of that at all. I feel like I gotta lean back. I'll probably be making some kind of my own adjustment to this belt at some point. Okay, so at least now that I've got it on, I can get closer. This right here, this little nipple thing, flip it up, except during storage. This is your tip. Right now, we're gonna be priming. So, flip your tip backwards. And then, right here is your pressure gauge, pressure nozzle. I'm gonna turn it down to about a 2, just to prime the gun. Flip the trigger. As you can see, there's fluid coming out. That should just be pump armor. I'm gonna turn it up to about a 4. There we go. Now if you see, it is blue. The stuff that's in there before is just what Graco puts in there for storage. All right, there we go. So now it is spraying paint. Yeah, the other stuff is what Graco puts in there for storage when they ship it. So as you see, I have plastic on this door and on this window. I guess you can't see the door, so I'll do it on the window. Right now I've got the pressure at a 4. That spray pattern does not look good. So let's crank it up to about a 6. It looks a little better. Knocking stuff over here. All right. Let's go a 7. It's okay. I really don't think that I need to crank it up to a fucking 8. I think I'm gonna rock with it at an 8. So, before I start spraying, let me show you what I'm talking about. So if you look, this is where I started, and you see how it has these fingers? No good. So I cranked it up. This looks okay. That looks a little bit better. But that, so that's at an 8. I think I'm actually gonna go with a 7. This is the 7. I think I like that spray pattern a little bit better. We'll see it on the wall. It's kind of hard to tell on the plastic. It's better to do this on paper, but yeah. Okay, let's get ready to spray. Turn that down a little bit. See, I got a spit or a clog. So what you do, you turn it around, you get your bucket, shoot it one time till the clog is good. I think I'm gonna have to run it at an 8 since it clogged like that. Yeah, that clogged too. Okay. All right, so now this is where the shield comes in handy that I was telling you about. So I'll use this edge. What you want to do is shove it up in the corner as best as you can. Like so, just like that. Now this is a popcorn ceiling, so it's kind of hard to get a nice true edge without caulking, but we shall see what we can do. Looks a little bit better. And then same thing for the baseboards. You just take this, or you can take like a 12-inch taping knife as well. I'll show you that in a second. I'm scared of this paint spilling while I'm doing this. See, I need a smaller taping knife for when I get in that corner. Of course, I don't have one with me at the moment. Let's see if I got a piece of cardboard or something laying around here. Nope. Just 1 second. So this is what I'm talking about right here. This is a 12-inch taping knife if you're doing drywall. That's too big. Okay. So for that little piece, I'm gonna need a much smaller knife, but we'll just keep moving along. Another clog. Yeah. I have my pressure cranked up at a 9, and I'm still getting clogs. It's not a good sign. You know something I just thought about on why I may be getting clogs? I did not read the spec sheet for this paint, but this is a 210, so 4-inch fan, like 1/10 of a 1,000th orifice or something like that. This paint might not be rated to go through without thinning. I know a lot require at least like a 14, like a 314, but I'm not sure. But either way, it's working out all right. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going spraying and move it along. All right, guys, so just real quick, as you can see, everything's sprayed out. My impressions of the gun are, this is not what it's intended for. I would not use it for anything like this again. The next thing I'm gonna use it for is a pergola, spray some stain through it. I had a lot of issues with it clogging, and like I said, I was thinking, oh, maybe it's because the tip is not rated for this thickness of paint. So I switched out the tip to the other tip that the gun came with, which definitely should have been able to handle it. And I had to have the pressure cranked all the way up to a 9, which is ridiculous. And that's with me straining the paint. So yeah, I don't know what the issue with that was. Also, the gun started leaking where the tip guard screws onto the gun itself. It started leaking everywhere. I got paint all over this hose. I got paint on the carpet in here, which the customer didn't care, but it bothered me. It's not something that I wanted to happen. Anyway, I cleaned it out real good, put some pump armor in there. I will be trying it again on a pergola. Hopefully that goes better, but yeah, so far I'm not liking the experience with this thing, but I'll keep you posted the next time I use it.